Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings today. We are so excited to have you again. President Muhammadu Buhari have few days to leave the Aso Rock. I believe by now all their stuffs have been prepared to take a walk out of Aso Rock forever, never to return again. But shockingly, Aisha Buhari has made a very interesting announcement. According to her, is going to stop Bola Ahmed Tinubu from traveling abroad for medical facility. The big question is, what did she do that made her to believe that the first family will not be traveling abroad? Do you think this will be possible in the time of Bola Ahmed Tinubu or whoever that will become Nigerian president? But first of all, let's look at exactly what she has done about the medical facility in Aso Rock. The First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, has stated that the construction of a VIP clinic in the presidential villa will greatly halt the urge for medical tourism abroad, especially for the incoming administration. She made the statement on Friday in Abuja while inaugurating the 21 billion naira presidential wing of the State House Medical Center. According to her, she was the brain behind a new medical facility within the presidential wing, having more over it since 2017 after her husband's extensive stay in London for medical reasons. Can be recalled that in 2017, President Muhammadu Buhari spent 104 days in a London hospital accessing medical care. She avowed that with the facilities commission, the president and their immediate family members may only need to fly medical experts over to Abuja to assist their colleagues rather than going on expensive trip. In her words, and I quote, he said, "I'm quite happy, feeling fulfilled, though we are leaving, but all the same, we thank God the project finally came to reality. I did opt for it 6 years ago. I initiated it 6 years ago when my husband spent 3 months abroad consecutively for 90 days. The hospital that is supposed to save the first family is saving like 35,000 people, which is quite much. That is why I insisted we should have a VIP wing within the proximity of the presidential villa." Asked about her opinion on whether it will be unnecessary for Nigerian leaders to receive treatment abroad since the new health facility has been commissioned, she responded saying, "Yes, this one is for the health and wellness of the first family. They don't need to go abroad now. They only need to maybe fly in experts to help our people. There would be no need for any leader to spend months and months abroad, all because of health care." Can be recalled that the new medical facility was built at the cost of 21 billion naira. Prior to this, the first family and staff of the State House access health facility outside the villa. Wow, this is quite interesting. Now, this news that we just heard, I know that it will not excite Nigerians. And this is because the story of medical facilities in Aso Rock has been something that is so recurrent. Yes, we knew that Nigerians were already told that there was construction of residential wing of the medical clinic in Aso Rock, and that amount was what was stipulated. And I could still remember that in 2022, more than 300 and something million naira was expended for it. But that is not what bothers my mind. The most interesting part is that those who have been in that's providing all the required medical facilities in Aso Rock, talking about the permanent secretary of the State House Clinic, has not been giving account of how much they spent on the state clinic, on everything. Because I can still remember far back in 2021 precisely, or so, yeah, 2021 or 2022, that the daughter of President Muhammadu Buhari, Zahra, reportedly made an observation in her Instagram handle and she's called out the permanent secretary of the State House Clinic, Jala Arabi, for not being able to provide ordinary paracetamol in the clinic, even though about 331.7 million naira was allocated to the State House Clinic in that year. So for me, it's not about boasting, say they wouldn't travel and all of that. How would they be able to, curtail the expenses on it and ensure that whatever amount that is budgeted for that Aso Rock presidential wing of the state clinic is used judiciously and we see supplies of drug there? Because I have seen that in Nigeria, the only thing people are targeting is just to make money, and that is just what they feel like doing every time they have an opportunity of saving the government. They just want to be staying there and making money. Now, why am I emphasizing on the issue of corruption in the state clinic? And why am I talking about it? Now, a few years ago, there was an analysis that was carried out about the budgetary, I think precisely in 2019, and that was reported by Sahara Reporter. And it talked about the analysis of budgetary allocation in the last 4 years. And it shows that's from that 2019, starting from 2015, that's 15, 16, 17, and 18. And the analysis showed that in that 4 years, 3.94 billion naira was spent in 2015. 3.89 billion naira was spent in 2016. 331.70 million naira was spent in 2017, and 1.03 billion naira was spent in 2018, and it was only meant for the operation of the State House Medical Center. Now, despite all of that, we've been noticing that virtually on a daily basis or a monthly basis, people have been traveling out, to overseas to seek medical care, which means that that money was not judiciously spent. So even the president's wife coming out and getting overly excited that such has happened, and now that a new government is coming on board, that they are going to use that particular facility to at least curtail the number of trips the president will have to use to travel abroad and all of that for medical facility. That instead of that, they will be bringing in people. I can assure you that that is story for the gods. It will never happen in the history of Nigeria, except the coming administration, whether it is going to be Bola Tinubu or it's going to be Peter Obi, will strategically bring in someone who will do justice to the supplies of drugs, so that this continuous flying out of the country and flying in will come to a standstill. It's not interesting to watch our own president almost on a daily basis taking a trip outside the country. I could still remember that in 2021, the amount that was reported to have been spent in that Aso Villa Clinic in 6 years was up to 6.4 billion naira. 6.4 billion naira was what the federal government had budgeted for that Aso Rock Clinic in the past 6 years. And if you look at all of these over and over again, you will realize that corruption had been the order of the day there. And it won't cease except the coming administration decide to take the clinic business very serious, the medical business in Aso Rock very serious, at least to curtail. And guess what? This is the reason why most Nigerians were really angling for a man like Peter Obi to lead this country. Because imagine if Peter Obi comes on board there, we know who this guy is. That as much as he will want to stay in such an environment, he will want one of the best medical facilities. But then accountability will be top priority in that kind of medical clinic. It will be his topmost priority. If you are telling us that we are budgeting so amount of money, you will have to, in a full analysis, list how much drugs that you're going to be bringing in there, how many people you are going to be attending to, and at the end of the day, you are going to show a report on how you have expended that money. And that is why we wanted someone like him to enter. But guess what? If another person comes in there, if that person does not really give in to corruption or does not even care about whether there is corruption or there is no corruption, this whole thing will continue. So at the end of the day, you realize that that 21 billion naira spent in building that presidential wing of that Aso Rock medical district will just be in vain, because the president at the end of the day will continually travel outside the country to seek medical help, and the person who is a permanent secretary of that Aso Rock clinic will continue to eat the money. And this is not interesting. As much as we can help out to ensure that that particular facility, which they have spent so much money in, can be used, then they should bring in someone who will at least show some form of care and show some form of control over how much is expended or how much is budgeted and expended in that clinic. I'd like to leave it there. What's your position about all this excitement by Aisha Buhari that the incoming government, whether it is Peter Obi or the president-elect, talking about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will not be traveling about again to outside